What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Darkstar Menace, and I am back with another episode of Comics, Anime, and Nerd Shit. And today, I am going to be doing a deep dive on a little bit of what's going on with Warner Brothers, as some of y'all have been seeing in the news with a lot of the pay cuts and some of the books not selling. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on into that. And today I got one of my friends that is pretty much very knowledgeable in DC. My boy Johnny D. Say what's up, bro.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And we're gonna go ahead and get into this. We're gonna break it down, man. So like I think before we even get into like what caused the downfall, I think we should start at the beginning with like Man of Steel, bro. I mean, what do you think? You think that's where it kind of started, or you think it started a little bit further after, or you think we should go deeper?
Well, yeah, I guess Man of Steel really is a good point to jump off on because, like, for me, the movie didn't. To me, it wasn't that great. It actually took me a long time to accept Cavill as. I really, it was actually me liking him and other stuff that finally made me go back and say, you know what, yeah, this dude's a badass Superman. And but it was kind of shaky getting started with, and the fact that the whole universe, this whole thing opens up with Superman killing. That
Yeah,
that to me was
yeah,
you
that
know
was a bit of a misstep.
that's one of the things I don't like about Snyder. There's a lot of people out there who, I understand he's a great movie maker, but I sometimes feel he doesn't understand the source material enough, and he's just trying to do too much cool stuff and not stay true to the source. That's why I'm not a big Snyder guy the way a lot of these DC movie guys are. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on Snyder. There's some things he does that works, and then there's some shit he does. You're just like, what the fuck? Prime example, like you just said, with Superman killing. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that shit, I was like, what the fuck?
And see, to me though, the funny thing is that it should be the secret to fixing this whole thing is anytime Superman kills, it's always a story that goes off in some kind of twisted direction. And I
Right.
kind of think they should just accept the fact that they screwed up this universe and end it a little more rapidly and send it into like a dark universe. So like make this whole thing like Superman killing causes a chain of effects where things kind of just go downhill. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see it just kind of go into some sort of injustice thing, get a satisfying ending, and just fucking end it and start over again. Not a
Yeah.
because like not a soft reboot. I want a hard reboot.
I mean, I think
And
that's
there's
originally what they were trying to do too, but I mean,
with Ezra
yeah.
effing up everything with Flashpoint now that
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Trust me.
right.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And I think really where most of the problems really happen, and I'm just gonna keep this one a buck, was, and this one's gonna be a little controversial. A lot of people probably gonna agree with me. Some people gonna disagree. Batman v Superman.
Right.
That was where some of the problems became a little apparent because we know what happened with all the reviews where you had critics and fans alike bombing the fuck out this movie. And everybody was losing their fucking mind, like, oh fuck, what's going on? Everybody at the studio. So I think right there was when we started to see a sign of weakness. So what did they do? What was their solution to it? They went back, and when they did Suicide Squad, they decided to do reshoots and then kind of add lighter tone to it. When, in my opinion, they should have just left the movie the fuck alone and shouldn't have even really made a big deal about the Man of Steel. About Batman v Superman dipping the way it did. They should have kind of made the Suicide Squad the way it was because I mean, there was already enough hype surrounding it.
Right.
They should have just left the hell alone. You know, but Warner Brothers, they can't leave that shit alone, and they
And see
refuse to.
and see that's an issue with Warner Brothers. It's like Marvel sets trends cinematically, and Warner Brothers chases those trends.
Yep.
And And it's like there has to come a point where you have somebody at the forefront of this thing with the confidence to just move forward. Because like Feige, I think if you were to get any Marvel fan and have them list off of things of mistakes they feel Feige's made, everybody's going to have like a dozen on them, but none of them are going to match hardly. You know, because he moves forward with confidence, and if you don't like all of it, it's okay because you're going to like most of it. And
That's facts.
I feel like um, DC's trying to do that please everybody and you ultimately please nobody situation because like the the whole Batgirl thing, you know, not to jump too far forward, is like they were listening to too many small internet fans.
Yeah,
And
'cause that's what I was gonna get with that because when it came to the whole Batgirl thing, before I could even get into that shit, fucking what was I gonna say with that one? Oh, yeah, once they decided to do the whole Justice League shit, I think that's really where the problem started was Justice League. If I'm really gonna that's where like the really huge problems happened was Justice League. Zack Snyder's daughter passed away and
right,
instead of giving that man time to grieve, what did they do? They just said, you know what, fuck this guy. We're gonna bring Joss Whedon since he did good work with the Avengers. Maybe he can do the same thing that he did for Avengers with us. Wrong. Wrong. That movie fucking flopped like a motherfucker. So what happened then? Warner Brothers said, you know what? Batman and Superman obviously don't sell. So that of course that was in their mind. They were thinking, oh, Batman and Superman doesn't sell anymore. So you know what? We're gonna take all these other characters in DC and we're just gonna push them. We're gonna freaking push them forward, give them some of a modern real world take, and then see if that works. But let's be honest, a lot of those characters didn't take. Some of those characters took, some of the other ones didn't so much. You know, like
right.
example, like prime example of this, Birds of Prey.
See, I still haven't watched it. I don't because all
It
right,
was bad. It was bad.
here's here's the thing, and like this, a friend of mine inspired me to to think this way because when all the Star Wars stuff was going on, everybody was doing their hating, right? And the thing is, as soon as they announced that what we now call Legends was being done away with, I knew it wasn't going to be any good. So I went in with a certain mindset of I don't give a shit. I'm going to go along for the ride. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to enjoy it regardless of my issues. And I had a lot of
Right.
issues. So that's and like the thing that I hated though is the amount of toxic fans who would this was awful and this was awful and like one person even said something like right after Ray did something that happened like in the final battle, I just got up and left and I'm like, dude, that's the end of the movie. We all got up and left. And it's just like, but what I don't understand is people who show up to the theater with their scathing blog review half written and are just looking to justify their hatred and like and I saw that if I was to continue with DC that this is all I would be doing. I would show up just absolutely hating each one and not being able to give it a good chance and just reinforcing my belief that this universe is past redemption. And
Yeah.
so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna give up because I don't want to be one of those annoying ass fans shitting on something that while everybody else is trying to have a good time. Like if you want to
That
keep watching
that's
DC and
fair.
hope for the best, then you do you, buddy. And if it gets there, maybe I'll come back. But as of right now, I'm just done with it because I feel like it's just that bad that all I'm gonna do is hate on it. So where even this Rock movie coming up that I looks fucking incredible. I still can't get excited about it just because it's DC EU, you know.
Yeah. I'm kind of going into that movie with an open mind. You know what I mean? Because that's something that I've learned that I have to do with a lot of these movies. I gotta go into these movies with an open mind. You know, and these days it's kind of hard to because here's my thing. I think, and this is something I've always said. There's always somebody within said fandom that's going to be toxic. Let's just be honest. There's always going to be those said toxic people within fandom. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? At the same time, are some criticisms warranted? Absolutely. There are some criticisms that I believe are absolutely warranted. Do I believe they're all warranted? Fuck no. By no means. Like for example, and I'm gonna bring this back to She-Hulk. If you don't like She-Hulk just because of the fact that like, you know, I guess I don't know, because you just don't like a female you don't like a female superhero, then no, you can go eat a dick. That's what I would tell you. I would tell you you can eat a fucking dick. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because
And
I know the issues I had with She-Hulk, it had nothing to do with like, for me, my issues with She-Hulk really was mostly the writing. That's about it.
well, see, I got two issues. It's like one thing is how your problem with uh Falcon Winter Soldier is you felt like they were pushing the message a little too heavy-handed, but like I felt that that was necessary for the story. Now I'm on this on the opposite side where I'm like I don't think the message needs to be that heavy-handed, but also like the She-Hulk I knew like was just real go get 'em, embrace this
Mhm.
shit.
Yes,
Like, and
exactly.
so to me, they've completely changed her personality and they're just calling her She-Hulk and they're just calling her Jennifer Walters. And I'm like, but
Yes.
this isn't Cree Summer, that's for damn sure. And I feel
In
like
other words, they bastardized the character.
yeah, for their own thing, and that's where I'm having an issue. But I've also
Yep.
noticed that my wife is enjoying the series a lot more than I am, and she doesn't really know the character that well either. So she's just going along on kind of a blank slate, and that's why I'm also keeping a lot of my criticisms to myself at the moment because I don't want to get bitter and ruin it for her
Yeah.
and that and stuff like that. But yeah, it is that I feel like they've changed the core of the character too much and that they're being a little too heavy-handed on the message. But I mean, I'm still gonna write this thing out. I'm still having a good time. I still got a damn good laugh at that Ed Norton joke.
That was
Not
fucked
to
up. That
not to
was fucked
spoil
up.
anything. No, I
No,
loved it.
I caught that Ed Norton joke. I was like, man, y'all ain't shit.
Ed
Y'all
Norton
ain't
is
shit.
Ed Norton is such a self-absorbed prick. I don't care who shits on him.
No, I agree. I will say this much. He's a fucking dick, but he played the fuck out of Bruce Banner.
He did. He did.
So I give him that.
It was hard for
But
me to accept Ruffalo, but now that I have accepted Ruffalo, I don't ever want to go back.
yeah, and then
But yeah, he
and
did do,
but
and he looked the part too, because he has like that kind of scrawny white guy face, but he's got that fucking just really chiseled fucking body that you would expect somebody to turn into the Hulk to be. He had the right fucking look, and
yeah,
he is a good actor. It's just I don't. It's one of those things where I don't care how good you are at something. If you're a shitty person, I like. I would almost rather cancel somebody for being a genuinely shitty person than having a stupid idea that I really disagree with. Because you can have
man,
one stupid idea, but you're still a good person. You're just misled on a serious issue. Versus you can be on the right side of the issue, but the only reason you're on it is to fucking jerk yourself off. And that's
yeah,
who I
bro.
think Ed
Like,
Norton is.
yeah, no, that's 100% right, dude. He didn't even like. And I'll give you like an example, like the fucking Italian Job. He didn't want to do that movie, but because he was contracted to do the Italian Job, he was being such a bitter bitch. He just half-assed. He was acting half-assed in that movie. You know?
Right.
Yeah, and then hold on, man. Before we go, I want to acknowledge a couple people. Salute, Chase Banks, salute, brother. Chef Ron, salute, brother. Appreciate you dropping by. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get more into this Warner Brothers shit, man. But yeah, even it is not even just the movies that are suffering right now. They're getting ready to lay the hammer on the comic books, bro.
Oh, dude,
Like,
but here's the thing:
yeah.
like the cartoons were doing so fucking great, but now because like they're pushing gay Tim Drake so hard, like they're all like the fact that the
Oh my
Funko
god,
Pops came out within like 3 months of the announcement. They're already trying to make a gay cartoon of him that
dude,
like
I'm already like, I'm already.
uh,
I've checked out from Gay Tim Drake. I've checked out.
like think about how long it took them to give us a Super Sons movie after they took away after they took away the Jonathan Kent everybody loves and there was an outrage, think about how long it took them to realize, oh shit, we should really give them a cartoon to make them happy, versus how quickly they're pushing this Tim Drake thing. Like you can tell it's like this was a marketing decision and they're just really gonna fucking stand by it regardless.
And
And
that's
that's
not the
another
worst. That's not even the worst part about that. Sorry about that, bro. But that's not even the
right.
worst part. The worst part is they even de-aged Tim Drake. They even de-aged him. So I'm like, what the fuck?
What, they just took 5 years off him?
Pretty much. Yeah, now he's back to being a teenager again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
See, I just really don't even read anything Tim Drake related from any of this shit. Like I don't want to give it a chance. I will give bisexual Superman a chance. I I'll fucking no, but I'm not doing it for any of the Robins.
Oh no, it got worse. It got worse. I don't know if you heard last week. It got worse. Now
Who,
Batman's bisexual,
uh,
apparently.
yeah.
I officially, dude. After that shit, I'm like, this is what I always said. I'm like this, and I said this. Y'all can take whatever character you want, but if you fuck with Batman, I'm walking out. What the fuck did they do? They fucked with Batman. I'm done with DC Comics.
See, and even all these years later, I still feel iffy about the John Constantine being bi thing.
Oh, dude.
Like
To be fair, he was bi in the '90s. They made him. He's been bi since the '90s.
since the '90s.
Yes,
Huh.
bro. Bi.
I
Yeah,
thought it.
he's been. Yeah, he was created in the '80s, but he's been bisexual since the '90s, bro. I actually looked it up, dude. It's like since the like early '90s, he was bisexual.
See, well, what I want to know is, was he bi this entire time, or was it like a thing where he was bi and then they kind of forgot about it, and then it happened again? Because I remember it coming in the comic books in a big way. Like,
No, he
I
was bi
guess,
the entire time, like because you got to remember before he was in DC, he was in a different company. I forgot the name of the company he was in before. It fuck. It wasn't Vertigo. Vertigo was the next run that he did. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Right, Chase Bake. Him and Lucifer are bisexual. They've always been bisexual, dude. Yeah,
see,
those two characters, yeah, they've always been bisexual, bro.
well, see, I think what bothered me more was like the whole King Shark aspect of it. It's like, not only is he bisexual,
Oh,
he's
dude.
but it's
Don't don't bring up King Shark. Don't bring that shit up. Bro.
like to me, like I said, it wasn't so much him
Ooh.
being bi. It's like to me, it's the way they're choosing to push it, because it's like he does have a, I don't want to say an effeminate quality, but he has sort of a I absolutely don't give a fuck quality. And when you have something like that, then it's like I'm gonna get my nut where I'm gonna get it. Is how I look at it. So his
You're
his
not lying though.
his lack of give a fuck just like leads way to that. But it's like just because he doesn't give that much of a fuck doesn't mean that everybody he comes into contact with,
Dude.
he's not Gambit. He doesn't have a psychic romantic thing about him. And
Yeah.
that it seems to me that that's how they choose to write him, which is not the best way to do it. And I guess that's my issue with it more than anything, which goes
Yeah.
to show you that even when it's right, it's like you're still doing it kind of wrong. Like why I understand where he'd fuck a shark, but why would the shark fuck him?
Dude, I don't even want to fucking know. That shit, dude. Motherfucking mercy, dude. I don't even it never made any sense to me, man. It never did.
I don't know, dude.
Okay.
Because ever since like when I was reading Nightwing and I found out who Orca was, I was like, you know something, I'd give that whale a shot.
Jesus Christ. I think King Shark did even smash her too, but that's neither here nor there, man. But yeah, it was like, and this is like the issue that I think DC is failing to realize, which is why when it comes to anytime they come under scrutiny, whether it's writers or DC themselves, they continue to take L's. because it's in every week as fans we keep saying this shit. It's not the fact that you're making the characters gay, it's the execution.
Right.
That's all it is. It's the execution. Salute to this tiger. Like, it's like I always said, I don't care if you make a character gay or bisexual, but if you make that the only thing that the character is about, and there's nothing else that makes the character interesting, of course the shit's not gonna fucking sell.
But
Of course
also,
the shit.
it also has to do with taste too, because you can't, like, going back to the Batman thing. To me, there is no tasteful way to make Bruce Wayne's Batman any kind of gay.
No,
It's
you can't do it. You can't do it, especially when all the jokes have already been made. You can't do it.
yeah, there's just certain things that it just makes it seem like, what the hell are you doing? And you don't like. And here's the other thing: with technology being what is so hard about? All right, so they know who they're sending all of their comic books to, right? All the major distributors. All
Mhm.
those major distributors know who has DC on their pool list, right?
Yep.
What is and since now they're doing a new distributing system, why not expand the technological aspect of that to where they can put me on a list that officially says, like they used to do it with the DVDs. If you bought this DVD, you put this code in, tell us what you think. Why can't there be a thing to where if it's on your pool list, you get to be one of the ones who has an opinion? But if it's not, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know why they don't have a system in play for stuff like for something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know
Right.
why they don't. It just to me it don't make no damn sense.
Because like I said, they started doing it with the DVDs, and like I guess they dropped off because I haven't noticed it on the last couple of ones. But like that was a thing that made sense. Is if all the people who are actually buying it, and like a lot of them keep saying the same thing, maybe take it into consideration. And it's like same thing with the comics, because I'll bet you Amanda and Jimmy would be back on Harley Quinn if there was a direct line to the people who actually buy Harley Quinn.
Bro, and that was actually the last time Harley Quinn was even decent. Was when Amanda and Jimmy were on it. And once they dipped, like it just wasn't good. Hey yo, Johnny D, Toothless Tiger saying salute to you, bro. Hey, just
Right
anybody
on.
that's here, if you're new to this channel and y'all have not subbed up to either Chase Bank or Toothless Tiger, please subscribe to those channels. Chase Banking, I'm telling you right now, his gaming channel is always fucking popping. Dude's always playing some awesome games. Check his channel out, man. And then Toothless Tiger, let me tell y'all something, man. That woman has a wealth of fucking wisdom. Y'all have not subbed up to her channel. The fuck are y'all doing, man? Please sub up to her channel, okay? And then also one more thing. Before we keep going a little further, y'all hit the like button, please. Stop treating me like a side bitch. I'm only asking y'all to hit the like. I'm not asking y'all to hit the freaking Cash App. I'm not asking y'all to hit the freaking PayPal, Venmo, none of that shit. I'm just asking y'all to hit the like button. The likes are free. That's all I had to say, man. Uh, But yeah, let's continue. Yeah, and then it's like yeah, it's just like when you make all these dumbass changes with some of the characters, it's just retarded. And then also I kind of want to go back to something that I even wanted to get to whenever these changes are even being made. And this is something I've noticed time and time again is every time the fans voice their opinion on said changes, why is it that the writers feel the need to just get online and start attacking the fucking fans instead of taking the criticism? Like, have you ever noticed that that's becoming like a big thing now? Is that a lot of the writers they get on Twitter or Facebook or whatever fucking platform they are, and they start wanting to start calling the fans, misogynist, homophobes, transphobes, racist, all names under the fucking sun.
Yeah,
And granted, a lot of the criticism that some of the fans have are actually legit criticism. I'm not saying all the fans, because there are some fans that give some fucked up, that say some fucked off shit. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man? With as far as attacking the fans?
Well, it's weird to me that like because what it does is it kind of echoes what you already see on the internet in general, but now it's like the creators are doing it as well, and it gets a little echo chambery because I think everybody sort of has those knee jerk responses of, like you said, homophobe, racist, blah blah blah. Like that's just their immediate go to without any lack of nuance or understanding. Just like there are people who they see something gay and they just hate it because they're homophobes, and like that legit exists, but just because he's a homophobe doesn't mean you or I get to be painted that way because we have issues with it, you know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and yeah, it's always knowing how to differentiate that thing. Certain fandoms are worse and better than others. Like Doctor Who is a fairly not so toxic fandom compared to others, versus Star Wars is one of the
Oh Jesus
worst.
Christ! Yeah, Star Wars, man. I stay the fuck away from that fucking fandom.
Like the only thing in Star Wars you can say that's going to get like 90% approval is I love Wedge Antilles. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but every single one of us just loves Wedge Antilles.
yep. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't heard anybody say shit about Wedge Antilles.
But that is it. That's the only Star Wars opinion you're going to get 90% approval on.
Yeah,
And and but yeah, so it's like you got that toxicity level. It ranges all the way down from the communities that are super accepting versus the ones that just gatekeep and are full of ignorance.
mm,
And yeah, DC, when it comes to the comics though, man, it's like they're, and what's weird is, to me, a lot of these decisions are being done over at Marvel, but they don't get a bunch of flack because they just kind of do it. It's a small thing. I always say blink and you miss it moments are what's best.
yeah.
The
Yeah, because let's be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now. Dan Slott, he's still fucking. Everybody still gives Dan Slott shit,
Right.
but with reason warranted. Like that's one thing I can say about when they give shit to Dan Slott. It's warranted. I'm sorry, it's fucking warranted when they give him shit. Because I've read some of Dan Slott's newer shit, bruh. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind that, especially like the news story they did with Reed Richards having a long lost sister. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, because like when it comes to Marvel, I don't really read much. Every once in a while, I'll do a comic story in to catch up, but I kind of stick to DC more, and I'm really trying to find something indie that catches my liking. I know Rob Liefeld is trying to get his own little thing going, which I don't know what the hell it is. It became like popular for fucking terrible artists to talk shit about how bad an artist Rob Liefeld is, when Liefeld's a fucking genius of an artist. He he misses certain he doesn't back up enough from his drawing sometimes. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
No,
But
I
he's
agree. Cause yeah, go ahead.
but I mean he's still way better than me, and I still love his work. And so I'm a little there's a little potential that, ooh, maybe that could be something, but I'll be honest, I want to move away from DC. I feel like Jim Lee is making a lot of bad decisions. He will always be one of my favorite artists,
Oh, same,
but
same.
in terms of writing and manning this ship, I'm like, guy, I don't think you get it.
Man, okay. I'm gonna say this about Jim Lee, bro. I love Jim Lee. Like again, just like you said, to me, he's probably one of the best artists out there today. One of the best. Like, cannot replicate his fucking style. But the dude is not a fucking writer. The dude does not do any fucking editing. He's not an editor. So why the fuck would you put him in a high position like that? All that dude's gonna do is sit there and throw paper airplanes and doodle.
And here's the thing: wasn't getting rid of fuck, what is his name? Dan Dido. Wasn't this
Dan
supposed to
Didio. That was the
Didio?
dumbest fucking thing. That was the
Yeah.
stupidest fucking move they did.
Wasn't this supposed? Well, like apparently getting rid of him was supposed to fix everything, but it's like everything's been on a downward slope since then.
Yes, facts, dude. Like all these books get fucking greenlit, and it's like, who's like? My only question is this: like, is it ultimately the writers we blame, or is it the fucking editors, dude? Because a lot of this shit is all of these books are slipping through the fucking cracks, and you go back and read the shit, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't want to hear about fucking systemic fucking racism. I don't want to hear about somebody not liking someone because they're fucking gay. Like, I just want a good fucking story. I want to see fucking Superman do Superman shit. I want to see Batman do fucking Batman shit. I want to see Wonder Woman out there doing Wonder Woman shit. What the fuck is this whole shit about teaching me about systemic racism and fuck and shit like that? I just want to read a good book. If I want to hear about racism, homophobia, transphobia, systemic racism, or anything that has to do with the police, I'll turn on the fucking news. I read comic books to get the fuck away from that bullshit. You know?
Well, I mean, I think that with the Green Lantern, Green Arrow story all those years ago, you can always point to a history of being willing to talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, I read some
But
of that. Those were good books.
also, again, I go back to the blink and you miss it moments, and I'm going to give you my favorite example of that.
Go for it.
Is I was reading, I think it's the Wonder Woman Steve Trevor special, and this is the comic book that introduces the three characters from the movie into the comic book. So like Chief, the Scottish guy, and the guy who knows all the languages. I forget their names at the moment, but they all
Yeah, I
became
know what you're talking
characters,
about. Yeah,
and
yeah, I
their
know what you're talking about.
and their little team also has a name, but again, it just escapes me at the moment. But there
Right.
comes a point where they're doing like a introductory of all three characters, right? And
Right.
so on one page in this giant special, there's a slot of three panels. There's panels above it, panels below it, but there's three. Each guy has his own thing with a paragraph that says shit about him. Inside of these three, inside of one of them, inside of
Uh-huh.
just a little part of it, it says he has dedicated his life to immigrants and refugees. And this was at the time when immigrants and refugees, the border thing was a very big thing. And so, but that's all it was. This one character dedicated himself to this. So the writer is basically saying, I'm in favor of helping immigrants and refugees. And that's that. And that's all it was. One fucking line in one bubble, in one panel on one page in a whole book. But you knew,
Really?
but you knew where this man stood. And here's the thing. I don't want to get into a big thing, but I'm pretty in favor of better border patrol, not the way our previous president had it, but better control. So I'm not 100% on this writer's side on that issue, but I still
Right.
loved it so much because he did it so tastefully. He or she, I need to look into. It's been a long time since I've read that book, but
Yeah.
that panel always stuck out for me because there it was.
Yeah.
You blink and you miss it.
Yeah, you know what? When I'm really thinking about it right now, it's like we said before, it's about the execution. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
because like how you just said that that dude executed it. Yeah, that was some pretty tasteful shit.
Uh,
I would have like sped past that shit. And even if I saw that, I wouldn't have been like, what the fuck? Oh, now you're trying to fucking teach me all this shit like the other. No. I would have been like, okay, okay. You know? I would have got it. But like, dude, I just wish a lot of these writers now would learn how to execute certain messages like that tastefully, because the way they do it, not only does it come off cringe, it comes off as if you're lecturing to people, comes off as if you're even trying to indoctrinate kids in a sense. I don't even like to use that fucking word or use that example.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, what's his name? Jordan Peele, right? I was
Yeah.
a little hesitant. My friends wanted to go see Nope. I was a little hesitant because like I've been seeing these interviews and not interviews, but like the articles headlines saying he's only going to do blacklit this and blah blah blah. And it seemed like he was like maybe he was going to be doing the overtop black thing. And so like when they asked me like why are you hesitant to want to go see this movie, I'm like I don't want to be lectured for 2 hours. And that movie, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I know your previous guest didn't care for it as much as I did, but uh, that's that's okay. I To me, the story played out the way you would expect a Dean Koontz or a Stephen King novel to play out, where you kind of think it's going this way, and the trajectory just keeps getting changed, and you're never quite sure what it's doing.
Yeah,
I loved the fact that it was thematic. That to me uh, is one of the things that sets it apart from just an average slasher flick or horror bullshit. That this is what makes it more of an art film. Was the central theme is an animal's an animal.
yeah,
That was the point of the monkey. That was the point of the horses. That was the point of the damn creature that they were against. An animal is an animal, and
right,
so I enjoyed the hell out of it. And again, at no point did I feel like I was being lectured, which is what I feared going
yeah,
into it. But I was like, yeah, this was a well done movie, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And again, I wasn't lectured one tiny bit. So yeah, no, the to me the whole point was just he was doing a lot of I think tropes in that movie.
hmm,
And the idea is like when you see these old school Hollywood tropes, it's always white people. And he just wanted to do the exact same tropes, just with a different cast than what you're used to prove that it's all the same. Entertainment's entertainment, and the story's going to play out exactly how it's going to play out. And different cast, different settings ain't going to hurt nobody.
right, right. Speaking of tropes, man, that's like another thing that just gave me another subject we can segue into. That's part of this. So about with the movie cancellations, man. Like,
Which was a
what? Do you,
shock. I will
yeah,
say
and I
that I was
yeah.
surprised.
But I understood why. And I actually saw an article on this. I think it was, I want to say it was either yesterday or Thursday. And that's actually what shocked me. And it made a lot of sense now because with all these delays and the cancellations, the thing is that Warner Brothers, man, they don't have enough money to constantly, you know, to just throw out a lot of advertisement and shit, you know?
Hmm.
And that's why they narrowed it down to 3 movies a year, you know? Three
Right.
big blockbuster movies a year, and then after that, that's just pretty much how they're gonna do it until they build up enough revenue to produce more products. So, also another thing, I even found this out last night about the Batgirl movie. Basically, all it was just like basically a 1 minute, 1 hour and 30 minute CW pilot. That's how the movie looked.
Mm.
Like, do you really want to release that in theaters, or would you rather just take tax write off?
Well, that and like because I think at this point they hadn't done all the expensive
Hey, oh,
CGI.
salute. Yeah, true, true, true. But even then, they were even saying just not just like the look of the show, but even like the script. The script was like a giant CW pilot too.
Mm. Okay.
So that's why I was kind of like when I heard that, I was like, okay, now I get why David Zaslav shelved it, because at the end of the day, there's already enough projects that are hurting DC's brand and Warner Brothers brand. They don't want to put out another fucking product that's gonna hurt their brand, you know. And I
And
and I yeah, and I get that. Go ahead, man.
can say, should we touch on the ginger side aspect of that?
Oh, I'm gonna get into that too. Don't worry, I'm gonna touch on that too. Trust me, I'm gonna get there too. I'm going to fucking get there because, like, again, because with me talking about the CW quality of that movie, it's also gonna bring me back into CW because, dude, did you know CW was operating on a fucking loss?
Like on those shows, like they would rather they just kept putting them out, hoping that the revenue would be there eventually, but it never
Yep.
was.
Yep. Which it makes a lot of fucking sense. It makes sense why
It's
fucking Legends of Tomorrow never got fucking canceled when a show got canceled after like the third or fourth fucking season. Flash should
oh,
have fucking
you know what's
Flash should
funny,
have ended
dude?
around like sixth season.
Oh man, I had said something like this when I was talking shit about the Batwoman shit. I was like, how are they still making this? I feel like they're just like cutting a loss just to put it out there and prove a point. And
Yep.
like of course, internet fuckers were mad at me or whatever. But like, I actually said this. I was like, this is so bad. There's no way they're making money on it. And now it makes sense that yeah, they weren't making money. And the thing is, the shows that weren't making money are the woke shows because that's the when they the first Batgirl thing was just like so way too feminist, and then for them to just replace her with a new woman of color, and then to turn around and keep pushing that character in comic book stuff as well, it's just like I'm just like, why do you keep pushing these messages instead of just giving us good fucking stories?
I've been saying that for the longest, bro, and I think that's where they honestly fucked up. Was they thought, oh, since Ruby Rose isn't gonna do it, we need to get another person. Instead of just recasting the character of Kate Kane, they're like, you know what? How about we just create a new character and let's make her black and then freaking make her bisexual and throw her into the show, thinking that oh, that's gonna save the show. When 9 out of 10 times that doesn't save shit, because at the end of the oh right, Chase, right, right, that's what it was. It was agenda based like a motherfucker, and it was just like, dude. It's like, and this is like something where I get the most frustrated with a lot of writers and a lot of companies is this: listen to the people that are consuming your fucking products. Stop telling them what the fuck they want when they're obviously telling you what they want. Because at the end of the day, it's simple. Give them what they want, they'll buy your shit, you'll make more money, and so you can produce more shit. Not hard, right? Pretty simple.
Yeah,
They
it
get,
really. I mean, it still blows my mind that that's legit what they were doing. Like I thought I was just talking shit, but no, they were just making these shows for nobody. Like they were
mhm.
legit making them for that 30% of the internet that does not reflect the rest of us.
I'd say more like 15%, but then again, I'm not keeping count.
Well, for me, it's 15 on either side. So yeah, you're right. But I
Yeah,
would
that's what I
say
said.
30 because 30 is the total.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say 15. But then again, you know who's really paying attention, right?
But yeah,
But
dude,
yeah, yeah,
that seems fucking wild to me, man. And what sucks is like I've been behind on my comics. I'm always wrapped up in one project. I work 6 days a week. I don't get to read enough, and I'm
bro,
trying to
you're
catch
good.
up. I'm trying to catch up on my Wonder Womans, right? And it's just like they're starting off really good, but then every once in a while I'll get like these things where they're a little too tripped up on the message, and then it'll start going good again, and then it happens, and I've heard rumors that down the line it starts getting even worse,
Yep, yep,
and
that's correct.
I'm just like so not looking forward to that because that's what happened with Harley Quinn, and it like the whole thing came to a screeching halt because each time I would read less and less because I just couldn't do it. And when I was finally done with it, dude, I was so fucking happy because like I started reading my Wonder Womans, and I would like with Harley Quinn, I would read maybe two a day, and it was a chore. Versus I throw the Wonder Womans and I tear through 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then it's like now I'm getting to it, and it's like I'm reading them a little slower, and I'm starting to feel that same thing that happened with Harley Quinn of fuck, this isn't as fun as it was, 20, 30 issues back.
yeah, and that's what sucks, dude. And like, I fucking love Wonder Woman, dude. But it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, some of the writers don't understand some of the characters. I'm being 100% honest. I just feel like a lot of times these writers just don't understand the characters, or it's like they do understand the characters, but they said, "Fuck your bottom line. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want with the character, and you're gonna like it because the character is an established IP. It's an established brand. So you know what? You're gonna like the character regardless." And
I
it's
feel
like, no,
I feel like enough people haven't read the line they're working on.
yeah,
Like they've only read the last few issues to know what's going on, and then they do whatever they got to do. And I feel like they like if you're gonna work on Wonder Woman, you should have read every single fucking issue to and be able to build on everything that every other person has done. And it's just instead seems like everybody's just given their own random definitions of these characters.
yeah. Yeah, and that gets annoying, man. Like the characters are written a certain way, so it's just kind of like, like I've always been saying, if the way they've been written is working and it's not broken, why change it? Why fix it? Why try to fix something that's not broken in the first place? Never understood that.
Right.
Never ever understood that, man. But yeah, let's get into the ginger side shit. I'm sorry, like I gotta, we gotta address that, dude. We gotta fucking address that shit,
And
dude. Cause
I'll start with one of them because this is one of my all-time favorite movies ever. The first Wonder Woman movie. I love the sequel, but that first one was incredible. I walked into that movie theater just toxic fan, hating everything about it, but I leave that baggage at the door. I'm
yeah,
sitting there, dude. I go in this movie, man. It was beautiful. I loved it. And but I think their decision to change Artemis was in poor taste, particularly because I think that there's a lot of white lesbian women who already identified with Artemis.
yeah,
And so that's the thing. It's not about who you're giving it to. Sometimes it's about who you're taking it away from. And
mm-hmm,
there was already just like a she was already a white feminist icon of sorts for just certain kind of lesbian women. And
mm-hmm,
when you took it from them and said instead we're going to give it to these big strong black women, it's like you could have just written in a different character because what's the one she in the New 52 she actually leaves Themyscira and Wonder Woman's always going to see her at her dojo where she trains little kids.
yeah. I know who you're talking, but I can't remember her name. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't introduce her.
Right, like that's the
That would have
perfect
been a better
person.
choice. Or hell, bro, they could have even brought in Nubia.
See,
I think that would have been a way better choice.
I'm hoping with them doing the Asteria thing that maybe Nubia, like I'm hoping we'll see her in 3 basically.
I hope so too, because honestly, dude, even like Nubia, I'm not gonna lie, like even though Nubia is a tokenized version of Wonder Woman, she's actually a good character. But lately, how they've been writing her, they've been writing her like shit.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get this. Like, I got the first Nubia Queen of the Amazons run, but when they did, like, I think a little 3-parter after that, I was
It
like,
was
you know what?
bad.
I'm
It
just
was a
gonna
bad run.
pass.
Yeah, it was a
I'm,
bad run, dude. Because they had
well,
Nubia
oh
going
no,
around.
no spoilers because I'm getting there. But this is
Uh,
the part I'm talking to. Like, I'm working my way towards that that I've heard so much bad stuff about. But I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get through it because like over the next
and
couple weeks, I'm going to catch up on it, and then I'm going to make the decision if I'm going to ride this storm out and hope that it changes, or if I'm going to cancel it. So like that's, and I'm probably going to cancel it. I'm thinking it's leaning towards that because
I
like I
don't blame
already
you, bro.
because I stopped following Harley Quinn when that new one came out. I was like, no, no, thank you. I'm thinking I'm going to cancel this one. I'm probably going to stay dick riding for a while with Nightwing.
Yeah, because I mean, Nightwing, from what I hear, is like Nightwing's having a decent run so far. I haven't really caught up on Nightwing yet. I need to get caught up on Nightwing.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he's still Rick where I'm at.
yeah. Oh, okay. I know where you're at right now. Okay. You're at
Yeah,
the part. You're on the part when he got shot in the head, lost memory, and instead of him being Dick Grayson, he's Rick Grayson.
right. And
Okay.
I'm a little into it with when it's the cops and the firefighter, they're all being other ones. So I'm like around that era.
Oh, okay, so you're before the Joker War. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, in
You're
fact,
before.
I stopped before the Joker Wars because after I do Wonder Woman, I'm gonna catch up to Batman and get to Joker Wars. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
building everything up to. That's
yeah.
that's why I stopped. Okay. So yeah, you're
Joker
right.
Wars, dude. Joker Wars was actually was some good shit. That was a crazy ass fucking book. I'm gonna be honest, man. The way that
So
ended, that
so
ending,
by
I didn't see coming.
by Batman, is he the main in the main line or one of the off lines?
The main, apparently, it's supposed to be in the main universe, dude. Apparently,
Well, no, but
I'm not. I'm,
because like I read the actual Batman line, you know what I mean? But then you know how there's the
oh, yeah, yeah.
Detective
No, it was
Comics.
no, it wasn't even in the Detective Comics. It was kind of you know how they do like those little the mini one shots,
Yeah.
like the little 5 issue one shots. It was in one of those. If I can
Okay.
find the name of the book, man, I'll send it to you if I can find the name of it. But yeah, dude, and that's something I yeah. Speaking of fucking the whole ginger side thing, like I don't get why like it happens in the movies and then people try to say oh ginger side ain't a fucking thing and it's like that's a fucking thing.
And yeah,
And
like what's weird too is like I've seen research that says that people with freckles and red hair combo with the official ginger is actually going to start fading out. That
yep,
because for one, they were legit genocided over, in Europe because people thought people with red hair were signs of the devil. So like sometimes they would
yeah,
be
just some weird
killed
shit. But
by just ignorant villagers. So like their numbers dwindled, and then between coming to America and getting dispersed with other peoples and stuff like that, there are less and less gingers that are actually being made. They say within 50 years that um, combination will actually be gone, and that within 50 years after that, there will be virtually no redheads left. And
yeah,
my
I
thing
read some
is,
shit like that.
and my thing is, if we're going to replace all these gingers with people of color, can't we wait until they're actually gone?
Bro,
Like
you're so fucked up for
it's
that. You're
it's
fucked up.
it seems no. They're fucked up. Like, look, you guys are on your way out the
Yeah,
door anyway, so we're just gonna replace you now. Like, but I'm still here. But yeah, but you don't matter. You're
yeah,
on your
that's
way
pretty
out.
much how
You're
they
gone.
do it.
And so
Yeah,
like,
and then yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Like I just
and even when there's sometimes decisions that are in good taste, they're sometimes still bad. Like the April O'Neil apparently was originally going to be black in the black and white comics, and
yeah, yeah,
when it finally moved over to color, somebody saw the name O'Neil and just thought Irish and did her white.
yeah,
And the guys didn't give a shit. They rolled with it. Even in the new ones that they make, Last Ronin, which I finally finished, absolutely incredible.
mm,
Um, Even in that one, they still keep her a natural redhead, but they because the character was originally black, like there's no reason that the character can't be black again. And then they
yeah.
do
No,
that to the worst cartoon adaptation that they've ever done. So it's
yeah, I
like
was kind of pissed about that because I was kind of like, bro, I
Black
have no
April O'Neil
issue.
didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, like I was just kind of like, I got no issue with April O'Neil being black, but why you got to do it in this shitty ass animation? Like, couldn't y'all have at least put some respect on her name and give her a better animation style to do that with? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
And
bro.
the writing was shit. It was too childish.
It was bad. I
And then
watched a little bit of on Netflix. It was bad, bro.
and then coming off of the last series too, I mean that last one actually rivaled the 2003 series, man. Like those, that was a damn good series that they had with the CGI one, and like
Yeah,
that's what you were up against, and this is the thing you crap out. And I will say the movie was better.
yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you this much: Turtles Forever, epic.
oh yeah, I got it on DVD.
Yeah, that was an epic fucking movie, bro. Hey, don't spoil that shit for me. Don't spoil that shit for me, Chase. I'm gonna eventually catch up to that book. Don't spoil it for me, bro. I'm eventually gonna catch up, man. Everybody's been telling me Last Ronin's the shit. Like not just you, Johnny D's been telling me. I've had a couple other people online telling me, "Yo, man, you gotta check out the Last Ronin. That book is fucking dope." So yeah,
And
I'm gonna check it out.
See, and to
I'm
me,
gonna
what
check it
makes
out.
it so great is a lot of comic books will do this. Like I kind of think that metal run that they did with DC did this, where it's like there's a lot of cool aspects of the story. The whole story is great. Everything's really cool, but the ending is kind of just like meh. It's like they don't know what to do with it, so they just kind of wrap it up kind of quickly, and it's never satisfying to me. It's
Which
hard to
one?
get.
Just the Batman metal, or the dark metal one, or just
Yeah,
Batman metal?
the Dark Knight's Metal, that whole the 6 issue run with all the tie-ins, because I have most of the tie-ins. I think there's
The
only
one where
a
it reset the multiverse, right?
yeah, more or less, yes.
Okay, yeah,
But
that one.
to me, the ending was like the story was great. Every single one of those, the Batman Murder Machine, Batman the Drowned, all of those were incredible. But the
Yeah,
ending was just sort of like wah, wah, wah.
yeah.
And
And then when
I
they
think
did the, go ahead,
I
man.
think a lot of comics do that, unfortunately, and that's where the Last Ronin is great. That final issue is a good issue. Like they actually know how to give you a satisfying ending.
Yeah, and then yeah. Speaking of multiverse shit, that's also another problem DC has is they keep resetting the multiverse. Like, how many multiverse resets did we have within the past 10 years?
Right. And
Like,
they're yeah, and that's another thing. I'm tired of soft reboots. Either no reboot or hard reboot. But I do not want
yeah,
this. Some of things are some way and some things are another way. It was fine ish when they did it once, but like now you've done it so many times that it's just like, what are you doing here, man?
yeah, and it's like when they're doing all this retarded shit, they wonder why Warner Brothers is losing money. They wonder why DC Comics is not selling. Like
And
they make all these dumbass decisions, and then they wonder why their books aren't fucking selling, man. Like, the fuck. Yeah, exactly, Chase. They're gonna turn around and blame the Flash for all this shit. Matter of fact, they blame Flash for everything. Let's be honest. They always blame Barry for everything. Man, that's their go-to. That's their fucking scapegoat is fucking Barry Allen, man. Just like the New 52, Barry Allen was the scapegoat for that rebirth. Barry Allen and Wally West were the scapegoat for that shit. But in all actuality, the real scapegoat for that was Superman.
the cartoon, the whole animated movie run again, Barry, where they
Jesus Christ, man.
it started and ended with Barry. Like they
Yeah, dude. I was just like, and you know the look on his face when it's like Barry got to do another flashpoint. He was like, God damn it.
yeah, even he was sick of the shit.
Yeah, like the look on his face is like, I fucking hate you guys. Just so you know, I reboot this multiverse. I'm not gonna fuck with none of y'all. Fuck all y'all. He's like, once this multiverse reset, don't call me. Like, for real, man. Like, they gotta stop blaming Barry for all this shit, dude. But
And
and then I was gonna say, actually, come to find out, it wasn't even Barry that reset. That it was Barry's fault. It was Doctor Manhattan's fault. Like, yeah,
see,
that's where. Go ahead, man.
part
I'm
of
sorry.
me, part of me really wants just DC Comics to have the big failure, not for the sake, because like I would never want DC Comics to go away. They are my favorite characters, but they need to fall flat on their face to finally understand, like, you're fucking up. I
Yep.
feel like DC Comics needs to hit rock bottom, realize that they have fucked, and kind of rearrange some of their people, get some different fucking young blood in there, get different shit, and figure it the fuck out. Like, I want
Actually, no,
DC
dude.
to come back in a good way, but in order for them to come back in a good way, to me, they got to go away first.
I think what they need to do, not so much get new blood, but they need to get people that are tested. They need to stop getting these random writers that are just fucking activists. Get some people that have been tested, that have experience fucking writing good books, that actually have some good books under the belt that have been well received. Get them onto the fucking team, dude. Stop bringing in the Vita Ayalas into the fucking group. Stop bringing in the freaking what's her name, the Stephanie Williams. Stop bringing her into fucking DC. Get rid of fucking Tom King. I'm sorry. Tom King ran his fucking course. Dude is just turning around and he's just fucking. He already destroyed freaking John Kent's Superman, even more than what Bendis did. And speaking of fucking Bendis, I'm gonna fucking say it. Brian Michael Bendis is fucking overrated. He is over fucking rated. The only reason he gets any fucking work is because he created Miles Morales. That's it. That's about the only thing, the only claim he has to his name that even gets like a freaking positive is he created Miles Morales. Because every other little change he's done is shit. He created fucking Ironheart. That character is shit, and somehow she's getting her own fucking TV show, which is fucking beyond me. Like,
See, I was watching a comic story and thing
oh, sorry,
where
I had to get that. I had to get that out, man.
no, I was watching this comic story and thing where like every once in a while he would say like some positive things that Bendis had done, and then he would talk about how it seems like Marvel is trying to erase everything he did, like that they're writing new stories to undermine all his shit because they're like, well, you left us, so fuck you. And but the one thing they refuse to undermine is Ironheart. It's like the they're getting rid of all the positive shit he did, but they will not get rid of his biggest negative work because they just like same thing DC's doing is like they want to push an agenda, and it's like we know when you're pushing an agenda and we don't like it.
Yes, case in point, fucking Dark Crisis, the Teen Titans Dark Crisis. That's case in point because that was one of those books where it was good artwork. Artwork was phenomenal, and it was wasted on fucking shit dialogue. It was like I have not ever cringed at a fucking Teen Titans book ever. This was
And
like the first. Like, let me phrase that. I've cringed at a Teen Titans book before, but the way I cringed at this book, it was almost every page I was fucking cringing, bro.
I'm glad I didn't get it because I thought about putting it on my list, but like
Don't, dude,
my
don't. I'm
my
telling you
issue
right
is
now, bro. Save yourself.
because I'm not caught up enough. Like I don't know where things are and what I would or wouldn't be into. You know what I mean? So it's like I got to get
Yeah,
caught up before I decide where to go from there, or if I decide just to cancel some shit. And speaking of, oh man, woke canceled shit that pisses me off is one of the ones I'm not done with, even though it's completed, is the Batman Beyond Rebirth line.
yeah,
I made it about halfway through, and um, then the story started drifting off to where it was just basically Batwoman Beyond. And I'm like, if you want to do Batwoman Beyond, why not give her a spin-off title and give me the fucking Batman Beyond that I want? And
I
it's like
thought they were. No, go ahead.
by the
I'm sorry, man.
I was gonna say by the time they figured it out, it was too late. Like the when the series canceled, the last few issues shifted back over to Terry McGinnis, but it took them too long to realize that they needed to make that shift. That they focused on her for way too long.
Yeah, I
And
was gonna
again,
say
I
I
haven't.
thought they were doing a book with her,
I mean,
like her own. Yeah, go
like
ahead.
they're gonna come out with one soon. You mean, or that they did already?
I thought they did, but damn, I was fucking wrong. Jesus.
Well, see, and they may have, but like I said, the main story, like right after where I left off, you can tell by the cover work that the every single issue is about Batwoman, Batwoman, Batwoman. It's like you just introduced the Robin that we've all wanted since 1999, and you shift focus to a character none of us asked for,
Yeah, that was some
and
weird shit.
so it's like, yeah, dude, why? And that's another thing where it's like you want to push the female characters and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So it's not like this problem is a recent thing. It's just it's getting worse. And what I don't understand is why they don't understand. How do they not
Dude.
see the trend in front of them?
Man, I don't know. Like I said, really I think part of what it is because I want to say it could be pride. It could be a pride issue, possibly, but I doubt it, you know? It could be because you have some people that have fragile egos.
Do you think maybe it's a New York issue? Like because I want to say they're still centered out of New York, aren't they? And
No, DC's in California now.
see that's even worse.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's 10 times worse. That's 10 times worse.
Yeah, because I know back in the day, like their buildings were like a few blocks from each other.
Yep. And then I know, yeah, Marvel's still in New York. Yeah, I had to really think about that for a minute 'cause I thought they had one in Cali. I'm like, no, never mind. They're in they're in New
Yeah,
York.
considering how much of it's based out of New York, I doubt that they would ever leave. I think Image is still in New York.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it if McFarlane is still in fucking New York. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Todd McFarlane was still in New York. Not at all. Like
Yeah,
not in the least bit.
and I mean, it says it says something that. What is that noise?
That was my phone. My girlfriend was calling me.
Ah,
Hold on a sec. Go ahead and keep talking real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and send her a text message real quick. Go ahead and keep talking. Keep doing your thing.
but yeah, I think it's funny that they actually had to turn to McFarlane to get their toy sales up with their whole Black Label line. That all those ones that they were doing before, I guess, just weren't selling right. And it's like, how much do you got to screw up to not be able to move a toy?
Bro, for real, man. I've never understood that shit, man. I've never ever understood how that works, man.
And it's funny too because ever since the Black Label line, I've bought I think four of the DC action figures versus the years before that I had maybe bought two brand new because like I bought a few in trades here and there, but like actual from the store, I think I had maybe bought two. And
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, the once you know McFarlane started making them, I started buying them, and
yeah,
yeah, dude, I just feel like DC has so much great shit. The cartoons are like, Marvel did stopped even trying to compete with them in the cartoons, which I wish they would fucking go back to doing. Because Marvel screwed up. They made too many origin stories and nobody gave a shit. And DC
yep,
understood not to do that. But it's
yep,
like
yep.
I feel I wish they hadn't given up. Like go back to it, man. We'll take whatever you'll give us. Secret Wars, like whatever the fuck you want. Clone thing, we don't care. Just give it to us.
Oh, I mean, right now Marvel's slowly getting back into the animation game, but it's not gonna be at the same scale like how DC does it. Because I mean, what they're doing, like what if and shit like that, and they're
Right.
even doing that the little Spider-Man story. Come to find out, it's not even part of it because originally it was pitched like it was supposed to be Peter Parker in the MCU before it became Spider-Man. Come to find out, now it's a separate universe or some shit like that.
Right.
Because originally, I guess Norman Osborn didn't exist, but since they're adding Norman Osborn in that cartoon, then now they're trying to change it to where it's a separate universe.
Mm.
Yeah, hang on one sec.
But yeah, man, I think
Yeah, I'm trying to see if my girl wants some Thai food after she gets off work because she gets off at 3:30. So yeah, but yeah, bro, like, dude, I've never understood a lot of that shit with the DC with the Marvel animation. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think with all the cuts that Zaslav is making right now, man, I think he'd make. I'll be 100% honest, man. I don't think he's making a bad move with some of the cuts he's making.
I will say I disagree strongly with the fact that Young Justice isn't getting another season. They should have at least been able to give one more to wrap it up. I hate that there's cliffhangers and unanswered questions and shit pisses me off.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this, they were a little heavy handed on the message, a little bit, but to me, um, one of the message is that they were trying to get across was like the idea of identification, and I actually really liked this because it had nothing to do with anything transgendered. It had to do with um, McGann and how she saw herself as not really welcome on this Mars, and how she related to her Earth things. And basically it was her saying, it took me a long time to say, like, this is the form I'm comfortable in, is this color of, I think she had the green skin by this point because sometimes she had white skin.
Yeah,
and
because
as
she's
she,
actually a white Martian, but yeah,
right, so like she would change, she would be green and then she would be white, and like her image changed. She was basically and it was this whole thing between her and her mom about, like, her mom is like, why can't you just look like the rest of us, why do you have to look like an earthling or whatever? And she's like, I don't look like an earthling, I look like me, this is who I am. And to a lot of people who don't understand or haven't even tried to understand what a transgendered person goes through, I think it's a good allegory. And I love allegory stories as opposed to coming at it directly. And so I think
yeah,
some of the people who were offended by it are like, are really missing the point, or that it's like, that's why I liked it. Even though it was obvious what they were talking about, they weren't talking about it directly. They were doing it through this
yeah,
allegory. And the thing I love about this allegory also is that actually applies to me as a biracial person, somebody who is white and Mexican.
yeah,
And the way that, even though I grew up in a Hispanic household and all this other shit, like, I'm not accepted by the Mexican community. I don't get to be Mexican. I have to identify as Mexican.
right.
Uh, it's something I have to fight for, just like, which also made me more cognizant of, like, friends who are biracial, who are black and white or black or Hispanic, but they just get labeled as black. But it made me understand and be willing to say, something, a guy who looks black but has a white mom is just as white as I am, by the numbers.
Yeah,
And
you
if
know,
he
man, I like, yeah, because actually, I was gonna say, I'm not even, yeah, I was gonna say with something like that, that's just like an incident that happened on YouTube, but we're not gonna talk about that because I don't want to talk about that guy. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, trust me, I get 100% what you're saying, man.
so like, yeah, to me, the idea of, like, and that's another thing. Like, when are we gonna? Some of these stories, they can't all be about identifying as the same thing. Not everything needs to be a bisexual man, by this, by that. And it's like, at what point do multiracial people kind of start getting, you know, a little bit more? Because there's a subtlety in that too that I think people don't understand. The idea that you're not entirely what you are, and the idea that you're not allowed to be the other half of what you are. And
Yeah,
and
yeah, and yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're speaking 100% truth on that because again, my girl's biracial, and she a lot of times identifies more with just being black, but and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I know there are some biracial people that do actually go through with that, and it's like, you got one side of the you're part of you're mixed with both sides of the fence. One side doesn't agree. One side doesn't like you because you're not accepted by one side, so you try to go to the other side. The other side doesn't accept you, so then it's like you're trapped in the middle. So yeah, I get that, man. I get it. I don't fully understand it, but I get it. You know?
see, that's where I liked this allegory story, because just as much as it is about getting people to understand what it means for a person to be transgendered, it's like, it's just as applicable to my situation, and that's why allegories work better than being directly lectured at. And I feel like they did a good job of portraying that message. Some people felt it was a go woke, go broke moment. I feel like they just didn't like the fact that it made sense, and that maybe it challenged some of what they believed in a way that they weren't comfortable.
I
And
mean, yeah. Go ahead. Oh no. Ah, fuck. My bad.
nevertheless, I feel like the first half was better than the second half, but they were both really good. And it's like, of all the things to axe, like, this cartoon, even with its the people criticizing it, it's still pretty damn beloved. And I gotta imagine it's if Harley Quinn is making the numbers to justify renewal, how the fuck is Young Justice not?
And that's a fair point. That is a fair point. I can't even argue with that. Because I won't lie, man. Like I thought the first half of Young Justice was pretty decent. I think with the whole thing with Megan and having dealing with her parents and everything and the identity issues she was having. To be fair, that's always been a thing in the comics with Megan. That's always been there in the comics. So a lot of people that are kind of bitching about that, like I can already tell you've never read shit with Miss Martian because that's always been something she struggled with. You know, it's been very apparent even in Teen Titans, even in the Teen Titans book when she was part of the Teen Titans. That was something she dealt with. You know, and that's why with John Jones took her in. You know, so yeah, that's always been a fucking thing with her. So that's why like a lot of people that were getting mad about that, I'm like, y'all are being very disingenuous with that shit. Um, I really didn't have too much of an issue with the identity stuff. For me, it was just more the pacing.
Hmm.
That was my issue. It was the fucking pacing and just the execution of how they did the Kryptonians was kind of what the fuck. I
It
feel
was a
like that
little
could have
weird.
been, yeah, that could have been done so much better. You know what I mean? It's more narrative choices that are being made.
Right.
And the fact that they did axe it and left it on a cliffhanger, it is fucked up. Part of me wants to be like they should do it, but at the same time, I like they did it. The show has somewhat run its course. You know? Yeah,
I
actually, they
mean,
did. Yeah, they actually did already release that movie, bro. I actually watched it. That Green Lantern movie, I actually watched it. I thought it was okay. Um, I had some issues with it, but I still think it was passable for the most part.
I enjoyed it. Cause like when I got it, I think I sent you the code
Yeah,
for it,
yeah, yeah. That's how I watched it.
and cause like I never do the thing like if something ever happens to my DVD, I'm just gonna go buy another DVD.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm one of those people. I like the way my shit looks on my shelf. You know what I mean? I like the fact that I have the whole collection there for the. Even though when I watch this stuff, usually I'll still stream it. I still like to have it on the thing. But I got it when it came out. A buddy of mine stayed with me, and we watched it. We had a pretty good time, and it was just nice that John Stewart got his own damn story for once.
Well, facts. That was actually the one thing I did like about that.
Because like this is the third Green Lantern movie to come out, and the first two were about Hal, and then the
Yeah,
cartoon series was about Hal,
yeah.
and like Kyle Rayner was the one who had his own episode in the old Superman thing, but and I guess that's what I'd like. Oh, was it Jessica Cruz got her own damn movie
But she was in the
before?
the Justice League movie, and then yeah,
Yeah, so it's like how she get her movie before John or Kyle does. So like to me, now I want to see one with Kyle. Like they done opened up the floodgates. I want Kyle Rayner to have his own damn movie about anything. I don't even care what. Just one of his girlfriends in the fridge, just whatever.
oh my god, they're never gonna let that shit go. Yeah, I watched it on Voodoo, bro. That's how I watched it. It's probably on there now. If you go check Voodoo, it might be on digits right now. If not, I think it's available on DVD right now too. But yeah, that whole fucking girlfriend in the fridge trope, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. A lot of writers that are like quote unquote hyper feminist, they use that argument all the fucking time. They to justify their point about women being damsels in distresses and shit. They always use that fucking argument. I'm just kind of like, if y'all don't shut the fuck up with that bullshit, because that only happened one time in one book.
See,
Because
I
because Major
remember
Force is a dick.
I remember an article where it was an old Wizard magazine where it's like he finds his girlfriend in the fridge, and but it was like it was paired up with like another time he found his dead girlfriend, not in the fridge, but like it was like two of his girlfriends were killed for him to find, and I think the second one was found in the fridge.
Yeah, that one, hey, dude. I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to fucking know the logistics of that shit. I don't even want to know because that shit, bruh.
And I think
I don't want to know.
it what was it, late '80s, early '90s, I guess.
It's 90s.
It would, yeah, it would probably be the era when they're trying to compete with Image.
Yeah, it was definitely the 90s. The 90s was where comic books went really, really, really off the deep end. And then it was also the era where they had the superheroes with the big shoulder pads and the fucking long ass hair in the freaking with the out of this world outfits. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest, Thor, the 90s Thor, Jesus Christ. The less we talk about 90s Thor, the better.
Fucking let's talk about some '90s Aquaman, where he
I'm not gonna
suddenly,
lie, bro. 90s Aquaman was the shit.
yeah, dude,
That
like
was
to me, that like
like
when they redid his look, that to me worked fucking perfectly.
actually, as a matter of fact, that's what they loosely based Jason Momoa off of. That was loosely where they got his look from. Where the look for Jason Momoa in the Aquaman movies, they
Hmm.
loosely got it. They loosely based it off of his '90s look.
Which is why, like, when the whole thing started, I was pretty pro Momoa. I really don't fucking like the guy as time has gone on, just because of his silence over the Johnny Depp thing. Even when they
Dude,
even when they got rid of Amber Heard, they're still trying to say that it was about bad chemistry between him and Amber Heard.
no, it's not what it was. Let's stop the cap. Let's stop
Yeah,
capping.
and so it's like my whole like I don't know, dude. Just for the life of me, I couldn't imagine having as much muscle as this guy has and still being so weak as to not being able to speak my mind.
Yeah, bro. Like that whole shit. That whole Amber Heard thing was a fucking shit show. It was a straight shit show.
And,
Uh,
and we knew Johnny Depp was innocent the whole fucking time. There was a little part in the beginning where it was shaky, like it's possible, but like that shaky part was gone real fucking quick.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
still, the studio stood behind her and like threw him under the fucking bus, even when all the fans were just like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, bro. Like that shit was dumb, dude. I wasn't falling for that. I wasn't falling for the okey doke. That much
No.
I can tell you. I was not falling for the fucking okey doke on that one, dude. Like
What do you think
y'all
about this
got me.
George Foreman thing?
What George Foreman thing? What the fuck? What happened
Oh,
with George Foreman?
uh, so he is. It has been alleged that he raped two underage girls that he knew the parents of.
What?
Yeah, this is this and that and the Fred Savage accusation.
All right.
I
I'm gonna
kind of,
say this:
I
the Fred
kind of
Savage
sort of
shit.
believe the Gary Busey one,
Okay,
because it's Gary Busey.
here's what I'm gonna say. Fred Savage one, I call bullshit on that one.
Total
I call
bullshit.
All right, George Foreman. I find that one very hard to believe.
Hmm.
Very very hard to believe, man. Now, as far as George Foreman, not George Foreman. Who'd you say? Gary Busey?
Gary
Yeah,
Busey.
yeah, he did it. Whatever they said he did, he did it.
Apparently, he
I'll
grabbed
give
a
it.
woman. He say he grabbed a woman's ass, and that he. I think here's the part where I'm a little hesitant that he tried to force his hand up her bra,
I
and
can believe that. I can believe Gary Busey did some shit like that, but
if he was under
I'm
the
not gonna double
influence,
down.
but if he was under the influence, definitely. But if he was
Yeah,
sober, I'm only willing to believe the ass grabbing part.
yeah, and that was kind of my excuse with that is I can believe it because if he was drunk, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But if he was
he's
sober, I'm gonna call cap. I'm gonna call cap on that one. If he was sober and he did this, I call cap.
But yeah, with the
Yeah,
Foreman thing, if evidence comes out, I'm not going to stand. I'm not going to stand with him come
I'm
hell
gonna
or
take
high
a step
water.
back.
If the
I'm
evidence is there, it's
I'm
there.
gonna
But
take a step
as
back.
of right now, all I've seen is an accusation, and an accusation ain't evidence.
Yep, that's how I am too, man. Like somebody makes an accusation, my thing is this: unless I see evidence, I'm still gonna stand with that dude. But if there's evidence that comes out, I'm taking a step back.
Because that's what
You
happened
know,
with that coach all those years ago. I remember when whatever the hell his name was, the accusations came out. There were people outside his house rallying for him or whatever, and like you just saw the crowd dwindle over a few days, to where it was like there was virtually big crowd, then there was like maybe five people, and then they were just gone.
yep.
As evidence came out, people were like, "Nope."
Mm-hmm. That's how that goes, man. And that's my thing is, and even then, a lot of times with some, well, I'll tell you right now, if especially if it's someone that does have like a history of doing some fuck shit, I'm not, and and then it comes out that they're claiming innocent. I'm not gonna stand with them. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna chill, especially if what is being alleged sounds plausible. I just chill for a minute. I chill back before I give my opinion on shit. But I will say this much: if it's something a claim that sounds dumb as fuck, oh yeah, I'll side with that person, especially if it just doesn't fit the person's character. You know what I mean?
Well,
It,
here's one that was interesting. Is like here's one that I believe but don't give a shit about.
mm,
I like largely believe the gist of what she was saying. I don't remember who it was, but it was the one who dated Shia LaBeouf, and basically she said that he treated me like property, blah blah blah. And it's like
I believe that.
I believe that's true because I believe that is true because they basically had an understanding of you're not my girlfriend, you're my sugar baby. I'm your sugar daddy. I give you money, I give you fame, I give you, you buy all this shit, but in return, you're here to serve me. And that if we're gonna support women nowadays and say that they can be strippers and prostitutes, and we don't slut shame them, that they can do whatever they want with their bodies, well then you know what? If you sell your body to a rich man to be his sexual plaything, then that's what you've done. You
Yeah, no,
traded. Right, you don't get, that to me is the same as a prostitute saying, "Can you believe he asked me to suck his dick like after he paid you?" Yeah, I can really believe that, lady.
yeah, I buy that. I mean, because that's my thing is, and this is what I always say. Like, you can't, like, we can't turn around and say, oh, like, we shouldn't slut shame or whatever. You know what I mean? I've always found that a little hypocritical, like, where like where it's like where some women get mad because we where we turn around and we say, oh, it's not cool for y'all to do this, that, and the other. Well, actually, no. Let me give you a better one. When we try to warn women not to be careful with some of the dudes that they mess around with, they say, fuck you, I can do what I want, I'm grown. But yet, when it's all said and done and something happens to them, then they want us to come and help them. But yet, it's like, but you didn't want us to help you in the first place. You said you can do this on your own. But now you're asking us for help. Get the fuck out of here. You know? And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that, but it's like, don't say one thing but expect us to do the said thing that you said that you didn't need our help with. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like for example, when you're saying like, "Oh no, I don't need a man. I can handle it on my own." But yet, when you have a situation where you're gonna get robbed or whatever, you can't turn around and expect a dude to turn around and just help you. Like that's not how that works. Because
right.
you said it yourself. You don't need a man. Which I got no issue with that. That's cool. You do you, boo boo. But don't turn around and sit here and expect me to help you after you said those words came out of your fucking mouth. Do not expect me to help you with shit after that because
Uh,
you said it, not me. That's all I'm saying.
mhm.
That's always been my stance on that. Is that hey, if women want to be in the equal playing field as a guy, that's fine. Like, I got no issue with that. Just like if woman wants to turn around and sleep with whoever she wants, hey, that's her prerogative, not my
Well,
fucking problem.
well, what was it that Bill Burr had said in one of his things? It's like women like to treat equality like it's the buffet bar. Like, oh, I'll have some of this, I'll have some of
Yes,
that. Oh, but none
yes,
of
I
that.
remember that. I remember
And
that.
and the thing is I feel like that's kind of what almost all groups are doing at this point. That they're picking and choosing which aspects of equality they want, while
Yep.
trying to ignore the parts that make you equal. And it's like that's not how that works. And it's and yeah, it's the same thing. I have like issues at work because the where I work at a restaurant, the people who are the runners are also the ones who are responsible for taking out the main trash back there.
Yeah.
And one of the girls tries to pull the "I'm a girl" card, and it's like
Ooh.
if you're not physically qualified for the job, then you shouldn't have the job. But equality is equality. Get your ass out there, you know. And it especially annoys me because they make $1 more. That position makes $1 more an hour. So it's like
See, for
earn
that
your
dollar
dollar.
more, you'll actually be willing to do some more work. You should be willing to do some extra work.
Right.
You
Like
know?
I said, I don't give a damn about your if your femininity was a hindrance, then you should have been a server.
Yeah.
Then you should have had a different thing. And the other thing is the other girl who works there, she'll take the trash out. It's her nails don't prevent her from picking up a trash can.
Yeah.
And which there's always going to be that person in your group that holds you back.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that redneck that makes all white people look bad. There's always going to be that stereotype that always makes your people look bad.
Yep. And it's like I've
And
always said, we're only as strong as our weakest link.
yeah, which is why we kick them out. I believe in before you point the finger, you need to address the three pointing back at you. So
That
before I'm gonna attack another community, I'm gonna look at my own community and point out the flaws in that, and then say, and now look how your community mirrors that.
Oh, I agree 100%, dude. I agree 100% with that. And that's why, like, honestly, like, I can't turn around and say every community, I can't turn around and say the black community is perfect. I can't turn around and say that the nerd community is perfect. I can't
I
turn
mean,
around and,
this whole
because it's not.
podcast is about toxic community. Is about the toxic community in the nerd community. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's just like because you got to point those three fingers. Because once we do that, now we get the opportunity to be just a little bit toxic ourselves and be like, F this movie and F that show and this actor
Yeah.
sucks, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, you do got to kind of you have to police your own. It's the only way we're ever going to get through this. I think is people got to get in the habit of policing their own.
Yep. I agree 100%, man. I think that's where it should always start before it escalates. Should always start with policing your own first, and go from there. I've always said that, man. You gotta start with policing up your own, man.
But all right, man, I gotta wrap up here. I
Oh,
got
that's
about
all good, dude. I was about to wrap up the show anyway, man, because I got other shit that I gotta do right now anyway, man. You got any final words?
no, man. I think police your own is definitely how I'd like to end it.
Yeah. Okay. Bet. I agree with that. Um, yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and say a few things real quick before I freaking change this up. Before I go ahead and shut this down. Yeah, I do want to thank everybody that came. I do want to thank my homeboy Johnny D for doing the show with me. I know it was last minute, brother, but I kind of felt like I was a little bit on a stump with doing this whole DC thing, and the fact that you came through, I really appreciate it, bro. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah. And then also, I do want to thank all my guests that came through. Real Chase Bank, Toothless Tiger, always a pleasure. Ellie, do appreciate you coming through. Too cool. Freaking Chef Ron, do appreciate all y'all coming through, man. Do appreciate it. And like I said, I do these shows every Saturday, so again, y'all know where I'm at. Y'all know how to access my show. Again, I'm gonna probably start live streaming my game again probably tomorrow. I'm just making a couple changes, so I'll start back to my gaming stream tomorrow. Um, hey, other than that, man, this was the show. Please feel free to hit the like button and the subscribe button on the way out. Again, don't treat me like a side bitch. Hit the fucking like button, please. With that being said, this is your boy Dark Star Menace, and I'm signing out. Peace.